Hi, I'm Dr. Amber Archuleta Lucero. Welcome to EPCC Talks. I have my co-host to the left, Claudia Chacon Haley, and we are excited again to be with you and talk to you a little bit about something new that's happening at El Paso Community College. We have some incredible guests. The goal of today, as always, is to share information. At the end of the show, we'll continue to do that. And there's contact information. All campuses are participating. We have incredible guests that I'd like to introduce you today to. Our first guest is the head librarian at Northwest, Lorely Ambris. Welcome.
Thank you.
Madam. And our second guest is somebody I've been working with for, I guess, since the summer. And so we've had a good time working together. She's an assistant at Valle Verde at our Student Parent Resource Center, also known as Family Friendly Campus. And her name is Uvia Garcia. Welcome to you.
Thank you.
And so as we get started today, one of the things that I shared with Lucia Rodriguez, hello Lucia, as well as Miss Robin, hello, is that we wanted to sort of provide information, make this a conversation about some of the wonderful things that we're doing at our campuses. And so as we do that, let me just give a brief intro as to, what we're talking about. So what our campuses have been embarking on is a student parent resource center, also known as Family Friendly Campus. We have statistics that have been completed and shared at EPCC to indicate that about approximately 50% of our students are parents and or taking care of a child. And so we have been embarking on a very long project, and we still have a great vision and mission as we complete this project. And so all campuses are participating, and I don't want to steal the show. I just wanted to introduce what we're going to be talking about today. So let me start with Lorely in talking a little bit about, let's focus our attention a little bit about what a student parent resource center is and or a family-friendly campus, and give us a definition. What does it include? What are we doing? What is it about?
We always talk about student success, but the parents that are taking care of a child, they have like a double duty.
Absolutely.
So sometimes they need additional services compared to our regular students, like childcare. They might need a study space where they can bring their children.
Absolutely.
So these student parent resource centers are going to facilitate that, where they have a space where they can be studying or doing a group discussion while their kids are like side by side playing, reading, or engaged in an activity with our student assistants there. Also, they can make copies there or print or use a computer without having to leave their children or going to a computer lab where children might not be allowed. Also, having a private lactation room, having changing stations in the restrooms. So making it not only like this center, but campus-wide, make it a family-friendly campus, having additional services.
I think this is so important to what a community college is, right? The vision that we have as it relates to serving our community. Yeah, we provide education services, of course, but the larger goal is to really serve our community. And we've been doing this for a little bit, Lorely, and I know your campus at Northwest as well as TM has been, kind of pulling the rest of us along the way in terms of some of the spaces you created, as well as some of the things you already have in place. So if I walked into Northwest and I was a student, I needed to maybe use some of the services that we have in terms of printing, or let's say I wanted to use the lactation room. Can you kind of walk me through sort of a typical experience that a student may have?
Yes. Mission del Paso and Valle Verde are the ones that already had like their grand openings. Northwest will be having their official open house or grand opening next week on September the 13th. And but we already have students asking about it and coming through. So they usually come to the front desk and ask, where can I sit with my child or something. We also have lab tables where they can sit in the floor, literally side by side with toys with their children. Also, there's books and toys that the children can play with, like Legos or different activities. And the student assistants are also there to help. They don't really babysit, but they help the parent watching the kids so they can focus on their study, that they don't get hurt, that they don't walk out of the room if they need to step out to go to the restroom for a few minutes, things like that. They have someone to supervise the child without having to take all their stuff, their books and their laptop to go to the restroom and come back. Happens, those little things do help, because sometimes they're carrying their kid and they don't want to take them to the restroom or something, things like that, so that they have the help. The lactation room, like we mentioned, they're private, so they can request the key depending on the campus. They request it at different places. A TM is within the Parent Resource Center. Northwest is in another building, but they can still get access in there. And the changing station, it is in the restroom inside the library.
Yeah. Let me ask you, you've been working for a little bit there in the space, and as I mentioned, VV is configuring some areas. So each campus is very different in terms of what it looks like and the progression and so forth. Tell me some of the things that you're looking forward to as it relates to working with our students who are parents, working with the children who may be in that space. What are some things you're looking forward to?
I mean, it's just giving a family space for the moms or for the dads, because the statistics shows also that it's been high, dad like going up instead of the moms. So and me, I'm gonna be there, so I'm not gonna be a babysitter, but I'm gonna make the child safe, like on the safety side. Sure. Like no seizures, no going out in the room or whatever.
And then in terms of the work that you've been doing in the space, I was there, sometimes in the summer, and I know our other team members have been there. What is the space looking like right now? How far have we gotten? What else do we need to do?
Well, the lactation room is going to be open on October, so because we need to provide that need, right? Because as we have the baby and you're going to the restroom and stuff, so that's a good thing. And it's going everything good. Almost ready to go.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. And I know Claudia has some questions as well.
Right. I know that during the summer I saw some photos on our homepage where they're trying to make EPCC, it's more of an acknowledgement that we are a family-oriented institution. So when I saw during orientation the paperwork, I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. And she kept me up to date. Oh, this is what's going on, this is what we're doing. And I thought it was fabulous. So I think that what you're doing is great. It is fabulous. It is a great program, much needed, especially if we are, once again, an institution that caters to family, because we see these non-traditional students, right?
Absolutely.
So my question to you, Lorelei, is what sparked this program? Where did it initiate? Many times we talk about our backgrounds and how that influences our work. So to me, it's like, where did the spark initiate?
The college was selected among 20 other colleges, or as part of 20 colleges, of the Post-Secondary Success for Parents initiative led by the Ascent and the Aspen Institute back in 2020. And from there, they decided to create a task force to start opening the 5 centers at the different campuses. More recently, a month ago, we were selected as 3 colleges grant recipients for $75,000 to start.
Which you wrote the grant for. Hello. Thank
right.
you, Lord.
Yes.
No, I participated. So this will help to also do a 2-generational approach. So the main idea is the children are learning along with their parents too. So we're going to have also more informational sessions at the Parent Resource Centers where they can learn about other services outside of EPCC. If they can't find daycare, connect them with a Y that offers daycare, other services that they might not know they're aware or available in the community. So also bringing agencies, like during the open house, we're going to have about 10 agencies providing information there for them of other services that they might not be even unaware. Also, this grant will help single moms more than anything because, again, they want to come back to school, but they're struggling with daycare. They might find a grandma or a aunt or someone,
right? It might
for
not be
like an
consistent.
hour,
Right.
yes, or an hour or two to come to class, but no time to study, no time
Yes.
to do the group work, things like that. So now these spaces will allow them to come back to on campus to study with their children side by side.
That's wonderful. And then I also like the aspect how you mentioned single fathers, because I've had that case.
Absolutely.
Normally, when I've had students say, well, there's something important going in class, but my kids are off. So normally I say, you know what? We'll just this row right here, bring your kids as long as they're not too rowdy.
Yep.
And they're not,
We
and
do
they understand. It doesn't matter. I mean, I've had a father where he sat there with his baby as he took a test, and it's like, good grief, these are people that really want to go ahead and, forward their education and, advanced. Then I also had a discussion with a couple of the people from our hallway, and they were very excited too. So my question to you is, I know that this is for students. Is there any probability that you might open this to faculty as well?
It's open to all
Okay.
faculty. We call it the Student Parent Resource Center, but it's open to all, to faculty, to staff, to students. It is open.
Right.
It is open.
Because I know one of our colleagues said, well, I'm planning on having children. It'd be great if I could use the lactation room.
Yeah,
Right?
for sure. I mean,
that's wonderful.
you mentioned the going in the restrooms and awkwardness, and it's clunky and clumsy, and there's people coming in, and so the spaces are just beautifully quiet and just serene, and so it makes you feel good. Let me ask you, what interested you in coming to apply for the job after you saw some of the things that we were going to do? Now that you've been there for a little while, is it what are you anticipating?
Well, I'm excited to open the mine in Valle Verde. But, I mean, it's because when I was a student, I have a bunch of friends that have a baby and they drop the school because of that.
It's hard. Absolutely.
And at the beginning, like, it was alright, but, like, after the first semester and then the second semester, it's gonna, and then to go back.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then, I mean, it's just a pretty good idea to support the motivation that you have, because I imagine that if you are in that situation, like, you need the motivation to keep going and look in the
I think
places to
any
support.
little thing helps, right? When you're trying, you have
Yes.
children or don't have children, any tiny little small things that can help us, get from point A to point B is significant. But this journey that we're moving toward is, I think, incredible. I mean, all of us, I think, that are on the task force are super proud to be, connected to something, a vision so big in terms of, what we're attempting to do. So as we're looking at the big picture, the grant, some of the things that perhaps other colleges are doing, what is it you think that we need to focus on right now, before we get too carried away with this money came in and this acknowledgement and all these things? What is it right now that you think is pivotal in terms of our attention?
Part of the grant has a big area for data collection. I think we need to know our community, our student community better, especially the student parents. So I think part of that will be understanding more what their needs are. There was a survey done before that indicated that they wanted more family-friendly spaces, that they wanted evening and weekend classes, that they wanted financial aid for childcare. So we already kind of know what they're looking in order to be successful in college, and also outreaching to those parents out there. They're like, now I can go to school because I have kids, or I have to take care of my kids, or I don't have anybody to watch my kids. So also reaching out to those parents out there that want to come to college, but they can because they're not aware of the services and opportunities.
Yeah. No, I'm hoping that this, is just one small piece of providing that information, to the community. And I think too, as I looked at this fall, and I don't know how you felt in the classroom, but I mean, there was movement again right? Post-COVID, I looked at the first day I drove up in the parking lot, I'm like, wow, it felt
Finally,
different.
back to normal.
It felt just different. And where we're at VV, there's, that little hub area where, the restrooms are, that little space where students are at. And, it was movement and congestion, and it was exciting to be able to feel that again. So I think that, you're right, Lorely. We need, one of the things that I think we need to do is, the word's crucial to get it out to the community, as we brainstorm forward about how we can do that. Because I know, it's about going to classrooms and talking and stuff like that. But it's also, small radio snippets of this on KTEP or other things in terms of trying to initiate individuals to come, to campus, even if it's just to visit.
One of the things that I do like about this program and EPCC, because we're really big on community, right? I've heard other colleagues from the other universities saying, well, we don't really accommodate to the culture. We talk about the culture, and this is very cultural driven, right? Mm-hmm. Which gives space, that safe space for parents, family oriented, bring your kids, we'll be here for you. And it's something that other institutions are missing. And you hear here and there, but they don't really do anything about it. But that's one of the things that I love about EPCC, that we do. Right, we conduct a lot of surveys. We study our people. How are you guys feeling? Right, exactly. And so we take all these things into consideration. That is part of El Paso, right? And even people that come from outside, they see that. It's like, okay, this is a community-oriented institution, and that's what I love. And that's this program that you all developed, because I know Amber kept me up to date. I know she's put her input, and the three of you are participate. I think it's something that is wonderful. Once again, it goes with our mission and vision.
It emphasizes, underscores. Yeah. I mean, that's what's cool. Tell me, just look at Northwest for a little bit. Tell me, as you move forward, we got, I can't believe it's September, but as we move forward into the next semester, what's sort of an immediate goal, something that you're looking at that you'd like to just, really hone in on?
Well, like I said, more than anything, create awareness, not only with the student parents, but also with the faculty, with the staff. Like she was saying, she allows children in her classroom, but there's some faculty that have in their syllabus, no children allowed. So also creating more family-friendly practices and procedures and guidelines and everything, and creating that awareness. Not that you can bring your child to class every day, probably, because I know some classes or biology lab, you can bring kids, but to a certain extent, I mean, if they have an emergency or something that they're allowed, things like that, their policies are a little more flexible to accommodate the student parents. So that's one of the main things.
Yeah. How have since you've been working with us and you've been participating, doing flyers and ideas, and we were in there physically moving some stuff, as you kind of look at that room, what is like the one thing that you in your mind kind of anticipate might happen, as we get students in there? And, I think about that. I think about, as you walk in the lactation space at VV, I'm talking about is to the left, and you're right there in the middle. And then we have all that big, nice space in the back. What are some things that you're anticipating with kids and working with these parents that are students?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people, first of all, right? A lot of moms.
Yes.
But the first idea was to give, like, the feeling of connection, because the main goal is like connect to those groups.
Like I said, the more awareness we create, the more avenues and spaces where we can get information out, the better. And so let me ask you this. As you completed that grant, you participated in that grant, and it was tight. The time frame was tight, if I remember right. Like we were, like say maybe second, third week of May. Like, okay, I think June something. We need to do this. What does that feel like, Lorely? You are actually doing something, you're writing something, and in your mind maybe it's manifesting, the fruition as you write something, and it's moving from the paper actually to our campuses. What does that feel like for you to be able to just integrate yourself so heavy in this particular, you do a lot of things, by the way, superhero. But this particular project, what has it felt like for you to see what we've looked at on paper, the rules that you had established and all those parameters, and then walk into spaces and see it? What does that feel like?
It feels really good. First of all, because it connects to other initiatives that we are doing at the Northwest Campus Library, being a community library, serving a lot of parents. Like during the summer program, this last summer, we had 365 kids.
Awesome.
And I see a lot of the moms
Yes.
asking for a lactation room, wanting to come back to college. Is there a way I can take a class while my children are in the summer program? So you do see the need also in that community. So when Lucia said, "Are you sure?" I said, "Yes, let's do it." Because I think we can support, those parents that we're already serving. It's mainly the Canutillo area. And as we were writing that grant, I was participating in another 3 and we got all 4. So now it's all coming together. The other ones are for family literacy and digital literacy.
Nice.
Also for parents.
Yeah.
So I think it's gonna connect beautifully because
Yeah.
they're gonna be able. The digital literacy is to give them the skills to be able to enroll in college.
Mhm.
So they're all gonna interconnect, and we're gonna be able to help them from different angles.
Tell us as we kind of begin to wrap up a little bit about our team. I mean, incredible, committed, just people that we get on these calls, and they've made so much progress in their centers that you're excited for them and you wanted to come to your home campus. So talk to me a little bit about our team. Some of the dynamics. We got, like I said, incredibly talented people involved. That once you get off these calls, you're a better person because you're participating in something that is actually facilitating support for our parents.
I think also has to do with our leadership. We have, Dr. Serrata has been involved in the Aspen Institute and everything. So their involvement, their energy, Lucia, any of those calls, like she transmits her energy, you can say no. So, we all are volunteering to that. It's not like you're getting release time or anything. So everybody's really committed because they believe on it and they want to do something and make a difference. Mm-hmm. But I think the support from our leadership, from the president, Dr. Mitchell, Lucia, all 3 levels, I think has a lot to do with it.
Yeah, it is. It is, like I said, just fun to be on those calls, right? All right, let's wrap up. So this is what I do at the end. Claudia and I do this at the end. And so I want you to just think about it, pause on it. It's kind of one of those questions that you have to maybe just think about just a tiny bit, but it's nothing threatening, and I want you to feel like comfortable to share. Okay, so the question is the following. What advice would you give to your younger self?
As far as college?
Just overall. Like, we always ask this question. What advice would you give? Some people talk about a personal aspect. Mm-hmm. Some people talk about their academic journey.
I think I learned anything you want to shift. It's like never start dreaming, number 1. And discipline. I've learned, discipline has a lot to do, no matter what you're trying to shift. Get a degree in your job, get organized and disciplined. I think those are sometimes we're like, I'll leave it for the weekend. I'll do this later. So don't procrastinate, be organized and disciplined. I think those are the main things that will get you. And never stop dreaming. Like if you think you can get it, let's do it. Yeah,
hope. I think hope's really a moral imperative. I always say when I think about that question for myself, I wish I had been just a little bit more courageous and brave in my own personal journey. Given my generation, I moved pretty far ahead, comparatively speaking, to peers. But I could have used a little bit more of the bravery and the courageousness to just walk through and believe in myself. I wish I had have done that just a little bit more. So I don't know. Maybe there's still time. Anyway, okay.
There's always time.
All right. Younger Miss Garcia, what would you be thinking about?
You're safe. Keep going.
Yeah.
Don't stop.
Yeah. Okay. So as we wrap up, I just want to take an opportunity to thank you both for coming. This is, we could always, sometimes we do, Claudia and I do actually, we have a part 2 because the conversation is so rich and good, but I know we're on some time constraints today. So thank you so much for tuning in once again, for listening, for being patient with us. We're going to give you some information at the end of the show. All campuses are participating in this wonderful, wonderful journey. And so please contact myself, Laura Lee, Ms. Garcia, if you need more information. And thank you again. Take care.